Hello and welcome to another episode of the Molten Truth. I am your host, Zoey Michaels, here for season 2, where we are exploring the music scene, which, as you know, is a very favorite topic of mine. I touched on that a lot in my blog over the past 6 months, as I was interviewing business owners and writers, and finally got to speak with the great Caden Gordon, and he very graciously has led me on to speak directly with a number of musicians. So we're very excited today to have with us Rich Allen, who won the Silver Award in this year's International Singer-Songwriters Association Awards. So Rich, welcome. We look forward to learning
Hey,
today.
yeah, awesome. I'm so glad to be here. And yeah, it's kind of really kind of cool. Caden's a great guy. I'm glad you guys connected.
He is a very humble. It's funny. He's an interesting mix of a very humble, approachable young man, but what he's accomplished also tells me he's a very ambitious young man. It's a nice balance.
Yes, he is driven. That's for sure.
Yes.
Good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed meeting and hanging out with him in Atlanta at the show. It was nice.
Very nice. Very cool.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So we're here to talk about you. So I'm very curious. Have you been writing music very long, or how long have you been working with music?
I've I've always been a musician at heart, but uh, life gets in the way. Let's just say that. And after 2020, COVID, I had all this extra time, and my perspective on life kind of changed and everything. So I said, I got the time. Let's get back into what I used to do in high school and what I've kind of fooled around with, through the years. And I got serious during COVID. I went to Nashville, recorded a bunch of songs that I had already had written, and then got serious about performing again and writing. And that was 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. I just today, it's funny, I was running late. I just finished up tracking all the strings for an upcoming album that's coming out next year. And so I, I, I guess what I'm trying to say, the answer to your question, I'm probably all over the place, is just to say, well, my music, I started to get serious about my music, I guess, during COVID, but now it's like just something that has just become such a part of me that I can't believe I'm actually living the dream. I've been playing these festivals, and um, I've been writing and recording music on a steady basis, and it's just a tremendous joy. It just fills my heart with, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And then when I won an award from ISIS for the award there, that just blew me away. And then coming home on Sunday, I learned that I got the Best Folk Song Award from the Intercontinental Music Award. So it was just like, bam, bam. I was like, oh, this is a little bit of validation.
Absolutely.
I'm going to keep pushing forward. But the thing is I write music and I release it because I enjoy it. I have no delusions of grandeur, but I constantly want to just keep improving and improving my songwriting, um, but also at the same time honoring the whole reason I'm writing these songs, and to honor that. So I write these songs as a way to kind of honoring my past and all the trials, the tribulations that I've faced in my life, and overcoming them. And so all of this is that's kind of why I got back into music.
Absolutely.
know? So I'm sorry if I'm all
No,
over the
you're
place,
not. I
but
mean, this is the
it's just
story. This is what
it's
we're
been
here
it's,
to, talk to you
yeah,
about.
it's been a long day. I'll just say it's been a long day, and you know, it for the musicians that spend their time in the studio, you know how physically and emotionally draining it can be after spending 8 hours
Is that
in the
what your
studio
day
or
was
10
today?
hours.
Was it all day in the studio today?
My day started at about 1 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
and it's just, yeah, so it's kind of wrapping up. It's been a long day, but the beautiful thing is the victory of the completion. I like when I saw that, okay, I'm happy with all the strings that have been laying down. Now I can focus on the percussions and I can focus on the lead vocals and things like that. My process is it's kind of fluid. I start out usually either on piano writing the song or on an acoustic guitar. This particular album has no piano whatsoever. It's just completely string instruments, vocals, and percussions. This was intentional for these 8 songs, and so it's always fun to see progress. And then I listen to the songs, and then to the point where I'm probably going to be sick of them when it's finished. But
Yeah.
um, what I'll do now is I've tracked all the strings, and I did a kind of a board mix, and the same thing with the scratch track of vocals, and then I'll just kind of listen to it to make sure everything's where I want it, kind of, and then decide what other instrumentation it needs and whether or not I want to stick with the original lyrics or if something else pops into my mind.
Sure.
So,
So when
so that was my day.
absolutely. So when you are in the process of creation, does a song's creation start with lyrics for you, or does it start with a tune for you? How does the progression go
It's hard to say.
generally?
It's hard to say. I have a really good friend who helps me co-produce at times. His name's Charles Conley, and he gave me some advice a few years ago. He goes, "Whenever you pick up your guitar or whenever you sit down at the piano, hit play or hit record on your DAWs." And so I do that, and so like sometimes the song just comes out. I pick up a guitar and I'm playing this riff and the words and everything. And next thing you know, 15 minutes later, I had this song completely done. Other times it's got to kind of cook and simmer, and I got to kind of work and massage the lyrics. So sometimes it starts with lyrics if I'm in a writing mood, and or I come across an idea or a phrase or an interaction in life that I say, oh, that's a good idea for a song. So I'll write it down and then try to build a song around it, and um, then try to figure out the music or write music for it. And what type of chord progression do I want? A deep, sorrowful chord progression? Do I want a happy uh, chord progression, or do I want something stoic? And figuring all that. I would say it's always easier to write the music just noodling around and jamming on the piano or the
Mhm.
guitar and then trying to figure out words later because the music's
Yes.
there. And if you can kind of, but it's voicing, it's voicing the melody right and then making sure it all falls together. It's so much fun just trying to figure it all out. And then it's really beautiful when it's all finished and it's mixed and mastered and you release it and you hear it for the first time on a streaming platform or when it's out there in the world. Then you can go, okay, on to the next, because you've done it and you can just, it's amazing in this day and age that independent artists like me can do this,
Right.
that we don't have to deal with the gatekeepers. We become our own gatekeepers, and as long as we build organic followers, and we have to spend our time marketing, unfortunately, and dealing with the social media thing, and but I don't let any of that take the joy out of it for me, because um, it's performing that um, that I like. I enjoy. So when I get to do a festival as a songwriter, singing my own music in front of people and seeing it received well or not received well. Either way, I don't care because it's all an exchange of energy. Um, I say, wow, this is what I wanted to do my whole life. And now I'm at a point that I can do this because, this is how I'm going to spend my retirement. I'm just going to play music until they wheel me off the stage.
Absolutely. And that's one thing I have to say.
So,
I almost envy you as a musician in that, where as a writer, I write a book and it may get into a person or a few people's hands. They have to spend hours reading my book to get anything out of it and to say, yes, I enjoy it. Where you can write a song and within a few minutes, not just one or two people, but dozens or hundreds potentially can hear it all at the same time and have that instant, ooh, I love this song reaction. You know, there's a certain advantage
well,
to
I
that.
mean, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say though it's too much instant gratification. I don't know. Uh, I don't know. There's something to be said in the art of all of it. Just like a beautiful painting, you walk in and you look at a painting, and you can look at it for a very long time and study it, and you're going to find different things in it each time. And um, the same thing with a story. You read that story, and if you read it again, you're going to pick out things you didn't pick the first time. It's just human nature.
True.
And the same thing happens with music. So I try to do that with my songs. You're going to find little Easter eggs tucked here and there throughout the lyrics or throughout the melody or the instrumentation of my songs that will hopefully speak to the listener, and they'll hold on to that.
There's truth
So,
to that. That's
yeah,
truth to that.
so that's kind of where I come from is when I put on that artist cap, and I'm so thankful that I've learned how to quiet the noise of the world so that I can get into the creative zone and create. Life wasn't always like that, so I'm thankful I was able to kind of figure all that out eventually.
Absolutely. Now, you
Yep.
mentioned you co-produced some of your music with that fellow whose name you gave a moment ago, and I didn't write it down, so I
Yeah.
apologize to that person.
Yeah.
But when you do, it sounds like you also perform live. So, do you have a few people you play with, or what did your live performances? What does that consist of?
So my live performances sometimes will consist of a full band. But here's how that works now. I used to have a band, and now I find it easier to hire a band behind me. So basically, if I'm doing a big show that requires, I will hire players, and then we'll rehearse, but they work for me instead of a band type of where you have to deal with the hierarchy and who is in charge and egos and all that stuff. When you're paying somebody to do what you want them to do, and you pick the right, of course, performers, uh, it clicks. So that's how I do that. But lately, I've been doing just singer songwriter festivals. And I enjoy those, so I do them by myself with just my acoustic guitar. It's less equipment. I can be more personal and interact and grow my fan base that way. So I do enjoy that. As far as like when I say that I co-produce with Charles, basically I record all my tracks and I get all my instrumentation together, and then I send all my tracks to him, and he mixes and masters them. So I always give him a co-produce byline because I always say that he kind of takes what I give him and he cleans them up and he polishes them up, and when he gives me back this mixed and mastered version of my song, and him instantly understanding what my intention was behind it, I just say, I just got to give the guy mad props and credit. So that's why I say that. And
Absolutely.
he's an amazing artist, and he's available I mean, he's on Sound Better and I think a couple of other programs. So he is available. I mean, that's what he does for a living. He's a sound engineer. So um, I'm very fortunate to have that connection, and as well as the connections that I made in Nashville and in Atlanta, and you know, the musical brotherhood and sisterhood is an amazing. It's an amazing community, and especially the communities like ISIS or New Artist Spotlight or the Singer Songwriters Circle. These different communities that I'm involved with other singer songwriters. It's just amazing. The camaraderie, the collaboration, the um, the spirit of everybody's pulling for everybody else. I just love it, and I enjoy that stuff. I mean, it also makes this a little bit easier because you're not dealing with when I was in younger bands during the younger years way back when, you were dealing with egos and bands that would be jealous of other
Mm-hmm.
bands, and nobody really got it.
Yeah.
So it's so refreshing to be at a point where none of that crap matters. It doesn't. And and again, I put myself around like-minded people, so that also validates me as a songwriter, and it also respects and honors the art for them as well as myself.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things I've been appreciating, and I don't know if it's just specific to the indie writers and the indie artists, or if it's just, again, the time we're living in, but I've noticed that commonality where everyone's more willing to help each other out, to collaborate and root for each other rather than being, oh no, let's block them out, because this is my audience kind of a mentality. I love that they're, supportive of each other.
Well, I mean, because we all want to lift each other up, but we want to build a fan base. And the kind of the way I see it, let's call what some of the motivation might be, is that if their fans hear my music, they'll become my fans. And if his fans or her fans, I hear their music, I'm going to become fans of them. So it kind of we kind of lift each other up.
Exactly.
A rising tide lifts all boats,
It's kind of
and
symbiotic.
I'm a firm. Yeah, it is. It is. And if you're a songwriter, I don't know. I always say we're twisted, tormented, and obscure. So, in all our ways, we have to be, because we're we're transparent. We have to, when we write, we become transparent. We share some of, like, our hopes, our joys, our fears in songwriting, especially if you're a storyteller songwriter, and I try to paint those images in my music. So if you're doing that, and that certain amount of transparency, you you like to be around other people who are willing to bare their souls the same way, and so therefore you realize, hey, they've got some mileage on them as well, and they understand that being at the nadir of your existence, you're able to see the apex. And with that being said, you have a certain more respect and love for humanity. I guess that's kind of the way I roll on this one. So, uh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and I think
people
that's
are
right.
cool.
And I think that's too what maybe draws the audience, because you are sharing a piece of yourself, and it's a piece of yourself that that audience can also connect with. They identify with the story that you're sharing. So yeah, it all feeds together. I do think that's the case.
Well, it's an exchange of energy, and I believe in this wholeheartedly. When you're performing, you're exchanging energy. You want them to feel something. You want them to be able to glean something off of that, whether that they can relate to the situation, or they catch that glimmer of hope in the song, or if they don't like it, they still felt something. So you still exchange some energy, but at the I mean, that's the way you got to look at it. I kind of like the people who don't like me more than I like the people that like me, because I kind of tend to learn off of them. Well, what didn't you like about it? And if they can't answer it, then I just say, oh, well, you're, you're just an angry person.
Right.
But it's, but like if it's honest feedback, yeah, bring it on. Come on, help me grow as an artist. And so, um, I'm thankful for all of that. Yeah.
So that's really good to
Yeah.
know. I've never thought about that. Usually, if there's a song I don't like, I just don't listen to it. That's the end of it for me.
Yeah.
I'll give you a case in point. Now, there will be 1,000 people or more who'll be like, "What? You don't love this song?" But I have never liked the song "Fast Car" by Tracy Chapman. I have never liked that song. It annoys me. I hear it come
Wow.
on the radio. I'm like, "Turn station." End story.
Well, music is
It
subjective,
is.
right? Music is subjective. I think for me as a musician, as a songwriter, we listen to music differently. So, I'm always listening to, well, the whole composition, how they put the arrangements, why they chose that chord change or whatever. But I I heard the saying a long time ago, and I repeat it. I kind of uh, say it myself now quite often. Is we to appreciate any music, you have to appreciate all for what it is. It's somebody that's put themselves out there and have have presented their art to the world, and music and art is subjective, and
It really is.
so
It really is.
you just have to kind of look at that. And if you're an artist, once you get that, then it gets a little bit easier to get outside of your comfort zone and try something new. um, Piano was my first instrument, and some of my earlier stuff was all piano driven. And then I really wanted to become a better guitar player, or become a guitar player. Let's just put it that way. And so I work really hard at it, and I play acoustic guitar more than electric intentionally because it's unforgiving, and I feel like I'm gonna notice my mistakes, be able to fix them and overcome them, and anyway, to be able to just kind of continue to develop. Um, you know, I don't know. I think the older we get, sometimes it's harder to. I don't think we learn as quickly.
Probably.
So as like, I think that for me, sometimes I feel like when I'm playing guitar, I just um, kind of hit this plateau. But that was also the reason I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone and create this next album that was all guitar and featuring all string instruments.
Yeah.
It's kind of brave. We'll see how it works.
Absolutely.
And then I said, well, then I'll go back to playing piano and writing stuff on piano. But I wanted to create a kind of a roots broken down album, with each song that it would be like if somebody was sitting in my living room in a circle with musicians, and we were just having a playing songs,
Jam session.
and that's kind of the vibe I wanted to have. Not really long jam sessions. The songs are structured,
Okay.
but just that kind of folky, down to earth feeling. Not that electric smack you in the face, 120 beats per minute banging in the chest. I love all that music. Please, I don't want to offend any of the popsters out there or any of the hard rockers. I love all kinds of music, but I really wanted to just kind of almost put out an album that was stripped down.
And no
So
one can fault you for
I'm
that.
excited. I really am. I'm more excited about this project than I've ever been about any project. Also because I can see where I'm evolving.
Right. It's an
So,
opportunity to
and that
stretch
makes
and
me
grow,
happy too.
kind of test your skills.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the cool thing is my wife is my toughest critic, believe me. Your family and friends are your toughest
Oh,
critic. They usually hate your music. They don't want to I mean, really, let's be honest.
Same thing
I
for
always
books.
kid
They
people
were my
about that.
toughest critics with my
But
books
you know,
too.
I love it. I make so much fun about it. But uh, my wife Cal, an amazing supporter of my music, just said, "Wow." She was just totally blown away because I held off playing any of it until I had all 8 songs tracked and scratch tracks on the vocals. Then I played for beginning to end, and she absolutely loved it. So that was like, okay, I got the thumbs up there. That's serious validation.
Yes, it
And so,
is. Absolutely. Yeah. When your
yeah,
toughest critic is in your corner, you know you're good.
yeah. It's it's probably not good enough for me to go buy another guitar, though. Let's just say that.
Probably not. That's probably a wise
I
decision.
always, I always tease her like, oh, she'll say like, oh, hey, thanks for doing this. Like, can I go to the Guitar Center?
Rude.
It's funny. Anyway, it's all good.
But you could probably
Life
go
is
to the
good. Life
guitar
is
center
good.
before you could go buy another car, right?
Yeah.
You could probably go
Well,
fix
no,
that one before
it's
the
all
other.
good. It's all good. I don't need any more guitars. I kid myself about that.
You know, my
So that's
stepson
the other
loves his
beautiful thing. The
guitars.
older we
He does
get,
the
the
same
less we
thing.
need, you know?
Yeah.
So,
They
yeah,
just
it's all
they're
good.
addictive. They you buy, you get an instrument and you can't wait to get the next one. They're a little bit addictive.
Well, yeah, I'm looking for like, I always want to find like a vintage classic piece of,
Hmm.
and it takes me a long time because they're a little pricey at
Hmm.
times. So I save up for them before I go buy another guitar. But that's just more of a joke than anything else. But yeah, so that's kind of where I am. I'm living life. I'm writing songs. I I'm also trying to encourage younger songwriters in the area to get involved with songwriting communities. And I do a songwriter's blog. It's kind of opinionated at times, but I'll write about everything from how to write sad songs to last week was all about the songs of resistance, how to um, what are some of the greatest protest songs that were ever out there? And I talk about that. Or I'll talk about, you know, um, the songwriter, the introverted songwriter, whatever, tons of stuff. That's a blog that I do and I put out, and that also keeps me active.
Absolutely.
Um, I, I just want to keep supporting the music industry when I'm not you know, providing or producing my own music. It's fun to help the other community, and also I just enjoy it. It keeps me busy. So
Absolutely. On that note, since it's a natural segue, I'm assuming you have a website and you certainly have a blog site. So what is your website or blog
absolutely.
site?
So my website is in. No, it's good. That's the blog. My website is richallenmusic.com. So that's that, and then my blog is indie residentvoice.com. And there's probably a link on my other website as well. But and then I'm on social media. I'm across the board on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as TikTok. So I've learned how to make reels and videos, and I'm starting to get pretty good at it, and which is kind of cool. And um, it's different. Each different social media platform provides a different, provides different value, if you will.
Yeah,
But um, I have a good time. I have a good time with it. I've gotten to the point now where I just make all my um, get my posts all together and I just put them in a scheduler and forget about it.
that's a good thing
So
to be able
that
to
that
do.
helps me.
Thank goodness for that level
Yeah.
of technology
So
because it gets time consuming trying to do the individual posts otherwise. The person could go crazy trying to be
yeah,
online all
and
the time.
I yeah, I have my routine. I mean, I do have my routine, that's for sure, and that's that's kind of important. I think you have to kind of keep a presence on social media without spamming them to death. So I'm
True.
trying to, I look at a lot of analytics, or I don't. My manager will look at the analytics with me and see what they make sense, and I figure out what to do. And just like it's we spend so much time either reaching out to people, sharing our music, or contacting curators for playlists, or marketing, or sending our music to bloggers. Um, I think we spend just as much, if not more, time doing that than we do actually
Doing our music or
creating and producing
books.
our art.
It's so
So,
true. It's yeah. I
and
really honestly
and this is
it's necessary, but it's exhausting. I really detest the marketing aspect, but it's necessary. We have no choice, right?
yeah,
We have to do it.
absolutely. And we're in Grammy season, so for your consideration, I have one song that's up for best American Roots song. So it's not nominated, but it's been entered. So it's been, I'm sending out for your considerations to voting members of the Academy, hoping to get enough traction, or at least get a nomination. So that's exhausting as well. But that's a fun exhausting, because I get to listen to other people's music, and I enjoy that as well. And there's so many talented artists in the world right now. And I just, it's, it's it's a great gift that I thank God every day that He gave me the gift of music. That I love music, and I want to create music, and I aspire to be the best I can be in my field. So,
Absolutely. So, is there anything our audience can do to help you with this potential Grammy consideration? Is there a specific station or specific
well, yes,
email?
if you're a voting member of the Academy, you can vote for my song, or please, for your consideration, not vote for it. Please just listen to it. There are very strict rules of what you can do. So I would ask that you please just listen to it, and if you like it and it moves you, please vote for it. And the song is "No Pinks" and by Rich Allen, and it is up for Best Roots Song.
And did you say
So we'll
no
find out November
pinks like
1st.
the color? No pink.
No, yeah, no
Okay.
pinks like the color.
Okay. I wasn't sure I
So
heard that
yeah.
correctly. I did want to be clear. So no pinks. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
So tell us more about you. Like, if you were going to compare your style of music with someone in the mainstream, as far as like folks music, do you have a couple artists that you could compare yourself with for those who maybe are not familiar with your work?
Well, I mean, I like to say my writing style. Well, I've had people compare me from everything from Adam Duritz of the Counting Crows to James Taylor
Okay.
to Bob Dylan, as far as writing in that respect. Um, I don't know, because I don't know who I would say that I. It would be hard to say one specific artist,
Sure.
because in my music there's so much different influences.
Yeah.
This this next album that I'm trying to that finishing up was heavily influenced by Robert Plant and Alison
Okay.
Krauss,
See,
and
that's
Patty
interesting.
Griffin. So there was some very big influences there, especially with the songwriting style, of Patty Griffin. So there was some influence there, but then I also love the instrumentation of the Alison Krauss and Robert Plant stuff. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I have some songs that are out that are little bit of rock and roll or more country.
Yeah,
Then I have other songs that are more cinematic. So
absolutely.
it,
And
it's
what
hard to say what even genre I fall into.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with
So
having multiple influences. I mean, that just it makes sense. You're not going to emulate one specific person because then you're going to be a carbon copy. It makes sense to take a little bit from this person, a little bit of that person. It's like ingredients in the kitchen where you're going to come up with this masterpiece. But I have to tell you, every time you say Alison Krauss, I've seen her in person and she is amazing. And when I think of Alison Krauss, I just get a sense of fun. So I figure she's the fun ingredient in your music. When I hear you say that, I think fun.
um, yeah. So full disclaimer here. I'm a really happy guy. I have a blessed life, but my songs are sad. They're sad songs.
Yeah.
They're from a period of my life that was completely different than it is now, and so I write to tap into that emotion, um, but the all my songs have a glimmer of hope. So yeah, so I guess the Alison Krauss part is the joy.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
And she's done some
But
sad songs, but even still, there's just that little bit of
yeah,
she's got a teeny bit of mischief to her. Just teeny bit.
uh, amazing artist.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many amazing artists out there, and there's so many indie artists out there that people need to just check out. I mean, that's the thing. When you listen to what's on the radio, iHeartRadio or Pandora, some of the mainstreams, that's what the tastemakers, the people with the big marketing bucks want you to hear.
Yep.
But when you go and you check out these indie playlists, or you go to a local show and see a singer songwriter, that's where you're going to see the true art, in my opinion. You know, spend the money instead of spending $500 or $300 to go see a concert. Go spend $10, tip your waiter or waitress, have a pizza, and listen to some great local music. You'll go home with a fat wallet, a full belly, and a happy, sense of supporting independent artists, and hopefully a smile on your face. So
Absolutely.
that's what I say.
Yeah.
Support local music, support indie artists.
Exactly. Some
Yeah, I mean,
creativity. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's not that I don't enjoy a lot of the mainstream music. I mean, there's a lot of good songs out there, but they are chosen by the corporate people, and it's just they fit in this one little narrow box, and you just get what you get, and you get it over and over and over and over and over again to the point of like, oh my goodness, I'm sick of this song. So we don't really get to hear these
yeah.
fresh, refreshing, even from the mainstream artists. I think I was telling one of the other artists the other day that even with a mainstream artist, you hear one or two songs that fit this mold, but some of their best stuff is still on the CD that you never get to hear on the radio unless you happen to buy the CD. And then it's like, here's this perfectly brilliant song. Why is that not the one on the radio? So yeah, the indie artists, at least you
Well,
guys can
I
choose
grew
what
up.
you put out there. Go ahead.
Yep. So I grew up with 45. So you got the single, you got the great single on the one side, then you always had the B side.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always a B side guy. I always liked the obscure. I always like the deeper tracks, the dark cuts. And, I grew up when FM radio was great. It really was, and I listened to WYSP out of Philadelphia, or WMNR, and that Philadelphia rock and soul with that blues influence. Growing up listening to that, as well as the country music influence, um, I felt like, wow, my roots are embedded in R&B and country. So it's no wonder I got kind of a roots folk Americana artist, because it's a melting pot of all of it.
Absolutely.
So
And it's so wonderful that you can pick and choose and do that as an indie artist. You can choose, one genre one day, you can choose a completely different genre the next day. You're not locked into, oh, you must always do pop because you are a pop artist, or you must only do folk because you are a folk artist. You are not stuck in one little box. You can move around. You can do what pleases your artist's ear.
Yeah. Well, the song takes you where it wants to go. It really does. You're writing a song, so I mean, if it has that pop feel, yeah, you go with it. And I never know until it's complete. Sometimes it takes a complete left turn, and what I thought was going to be a slow kind of sullen tune turns out to be this rocking tune or an up-tempo tune or whatever. So like I said,
Sometimes the
the
song
song will
wants what
tell
the
you where it
song
needs to
wants.
go.
Absolutely.
Right.
It has
Well,
a mind of
and
its
also
own.
my philosophy is um, I'm not going to record or release anything I can't produce live or play live. I mean,
Yeah.
because if people are coming to see me, they're going to expect that.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. So I respect the production value of that. I respect the little mistakes, the beauty and the imperfections of all of it. So
Sometimes it's those mistakes that
um,
really make a
yeah.
song. Even like the
Well,
before
I
and
mean,
before after.
sometimes they drive you crazy to this day. It depends on what it is. Like
Yeah.
if that pop of the snare drum just is not popping the right way, you hear the mix, you're like, I hate that drum,
Yeah.
or
Sometimes it
whatever.
just
But
adds a piece of character that you did, weren't counting on, but that it just adds to the
yeah,
flavor.
yeah,
Sometimes there's happy accidents.
yeah. Well, absolutely. I mean, sometimes you stumble upon greatness,
Yeah,
I would think.
it does
Or we
happen.
hope. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So
very cool.
for people who would want to hear you live, how would someone hear you live? Where would they find you, generally speaking?
Well, I have a big show coming up November 16th. I'm going to be playing the DeLand Original Music Festival. I think I'm going to be on the Artesian stage. I'm not 100% sure. The schedule hasn't come out. So that's will be my last big show of this year where I'm actually putting on a full 15 song show, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever I think the time is. But then most of the time you'll always find me locally. I'm either at the Irish Pub on Thursday night doing open mic nights playing there, or I'm at the Organic Farm, Sweetwater Farm, when they have music there. But that is primarily, um, you know, they're not paid gigs. It's just supporting the community, and I'm digging it. Did I lose you? I think so. Okay. Oh, hey,
Yeah, your side was still
can't
recording.
hear you.
Hopefully, oh, okay.
I can't hear you.
Let's give it 1 minute. Can you hear me now? Now?
Now I got you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes. So
Okay.
your side
Yeah.
continued recording. Riverside likes to do that. It'll keep recording for you, but then like my side had stopped. So I don't know if you were able to
Okay.
finish your
Great.
thought for the audience or not.
Yeah,
um,
I think I did. I think I did,
okay.
and I'm so glad I didn't get up and dance or anything. Then when it was just going, so you
Okay,
know.
so we told the audience where to find you, and we did a little song dance. Okay.
So
Um,
I have the sleep deprivation sillies. I think I'm a little
I
giddy,
get you.
so
I
it's all
get
good
you.
though.
Well, and you've seen me doing yawning, and not because I'm not enjoying our conversation, just because it's been a long day, and
No, it's
apparently I
all
need to drink
good.
some more
It's all
water.
good.
But
Yes,
as we get ready to close
hydration.
down, exactly that, and maybe air movement. I don't know, but I'm just like, oh my goodness. It's like, yeah. So I'm like, I'm fully involved, but my body is like, drink something or take a big yawn. That you need something. So
Yes.
before we close out for the evening, I wanted to ask you a question asked by our previous guest. So this was the thing I warned you about. So our previous guest had this thought about how we all have seasons in our life, and he viewed them as like, sometimes you're in a valley, and sometimes you're up high on a mountain, and sometimes you're just in between. So if you were going to describe this season in your life, where would you be? Would you be on that mountain or down the valley or somewhere in between?
I think that I'm like halfway up the mountain. I'm gonna say that. I'm halfway up the mountain. I still think I always try to be optimistic and believe the best is yet ahead of me. So,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
so
Which
that's
is probably a good
yeah,
way to view
that's
things, you know?
I,
Still
I think
looking
so.
forward
I
to
mean, I think
continuing.
optimism's a good thing. Yeah.
Agree
Yeah,
with
hope's
that.
an awesome thing as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And still
So
having
you
things to
need
look
my
forward to.
question.
I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, so having things to look forward to is a big thing, and that's why I'm constantly, I love looking at my calendar and saying, okay, I get to fly here, I get to do this, I get to do this, and um, so I'm excited. I'm excited to be in Nashville this weekend. I can't wait. So yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. So my question is very simple. Who is your biggest, biggest fan?
Okay.
So
Simple question.
yeah, like
Oh,
who supports them? Everybody has one. I have one that has been my longest fan, and this person gets my music before anybody else.
I love
She
that.
gets the T-shirts, she gets the flash drives, all of it, and she's a good friend. Her and her husband came to all my shows, and so who's your biggest fan, and how do you acknowledge them? There you go.
Ah,
We'll
okay.
throw
I
that
love
in.
that part. And how do you acknowledge them? That's a very important thing because, you know, it's nice to have that support, but sometimes it is nice to show that gratitude. And how do you acknowledge them? How do you acknowledge them? Great. Well, I've appreciated having you with us this evening. I hope our audience will have enjoyed our recording. So we're going to say goodbye to our audience. And as I mentioned before, you and I will talk a little bit offline. So let me get this
Okay,
wrapped here.
no worries.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.